Welcome back to our 4 core metabolic cellular healing stack training. Again, reminding you that these are powerful on their own, but together they are transformational into the human body. This time we are going to talk about pHit. pHit is a brand new product that is launching, and there's a lot of great information about pHit and what we see, excuse me, in the ingredients and in how it is utilized within the body. So let's do a deep dive on what pHit really is. First of all, when we look at the substrates or the components of pHit, the number one thing we look at is guarana powder. A guarana powder is a very unique substance in that it's a stimulant. It's one of the very few things that is a natural stimulant, so it's not synthetic. But it contains about 4 to 7% of caffeine, or about the equivalency of 1.5 cups of black coffee. It is a sustained energy release, which means that the caffeine in the guarana binds with certain tannins, which delay the absorption and create a more gradual effect. So it's not like you're getting a jolt or a big dose of caffeine in with it. Enhanced cognitive function, it boosts alertness, mental performance, and memory. And then it's even is involved in appetite suppression, which may reduce short-term food intake by modulating the ghrelin and the leptin that we talked about previously with the fix. It also has a lot of antioxidant effects. So this contains catechins and theobromine and tannins, and all those support the cardiovascular and the neurological health. And then last of all, within this first case of guarana, it actually is a thermogenic aid. It supports that fat metabolism, specifically when when it is paired with green tea. And that's the number 2 extract that we have is green tea. So the ECGC is a potent antioxidant that supports mitochondrial function, which once again is energy production. It is a fat oxidation, so breaking down the fat, specifically the rancid fats. And it has a lot of cancer protection through some different pathways. Cardiovascular health, it reduces the low-density lipoprotein oxidation. And then again, the catechins and polyphenols are anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and have many different metabolic effects. Again, a mild thermogenic aid promotes energy expenditure and fat burning, fat metabolism, fat melting. Neuroprotective, it crosses the blood-brain barrier to actually protect the neurons, which are fat, right? So this is a key factor in some brain conditions that are going on. And then third is the EBGE 700. That is the trademark name of the proprietary blend of elderberry, bilberry, and grapeseed extracts. So let's look at elderberry in itself. It's high in anthocyanins and flavonoids. It has a lot of antiviral activity, especially those in regards to influenza A and influenza B. And it supports immune modulation or immunity within the body, as well as antioxidant defense. And then the bilberry itself is rich in the anthocyanins, which enhances microcirculation, which is the ability to create more circulation or improve a circulation to the smaller areas into the capillary beds themselves. Supports vision, capillary strength, and antioxidant protection, and it improves the vascular tone and retinal health. So you can see here, this is going to be really, really good in helping a lot of these small arterioles, and it's going to actually allow us to get more nutrients into that area for not only reducing inflammatory issues, but in repairing and rebuilding the cell tissues in the area. And the third thing that it has with the grapeseed extracts is that it's one of these called proanthocyanins, which is a real cool thing in a lot of ways, how it actually reduces inflammatory issue. It's one of the strongest known natural antioxidants, and what that means, it scavenges free radicals. Now, a free radical is what we call an O1 or an O3, because O2 is a balance. And what the free radicals do, they'll go steal from other cells to balance them out. So they're a negative ion, and they're going around looking for something else to make it positive, and that's why it steals and robs people, and that's why it actually causes toxins, specifically in the fatty acids, the low density lipoproteins. Cardiovascular support improves the endothelial function, which lowers your blood pressure. So remember, again, the endothelial lining of all the arterioles and venules, and even in some of our organs and our cells, so it actually helps repair that. Vasodilatory effects, which means it increases blood flow and venous insufficiency, and therefore reduces edema and clots. It inhibits the lipid peroxidation and the LDL oxidation. So when we're talking about this, every single cell has both what we call an inner layer and an outer layer of lipid layer that's in there, a biolipid layer. And so it actually protects the walls of the cells, both external and internal. And then it makes sure that the free radicals don't destroy the low density lipoproteins. And so that's how it actually prevents that oxidation phase. It has a lot of anti-allergic properties as well, and it is one of the few things, again, that crosses the blood-brain barrier, which actually gives us a protective aspect onto all of our neurons. And then the next aspect of this is vitamin C, about 300 milligrams, 40% of the daily volume. It's an antioxidant super powerhouse. Most people are aware of what vitamin C is, but it scavenges, once again, the reactive oxygen species, and it actually protects the mitochondria so that those things don't destroy your energy production centers. And in regards to collagen synthesis, it affects the skin, the joint, and vascular repair. It's an immune modulator. It enhances the natural killer cell activity, leukocyte migration, so it gets repairability around to the immune system, helps it fight off foreign invaders. And then it's a cortisol buffer, supports adrenal stress recovery. So a lot of stress going on in this world, a lot of things we're dealing with. And so it's actually going to help reduce that as well as help it to recover from that. And then it even improves iron absorption. It's an antihistamine, a lot of different things it does. It reduces allergic responses. And most people are aware of that when you have some type of issue going on, vitamin C is one of the critical things to actually take and make that work. So let's talk about what pHit is as far as the mitochondrial nourishment and antioxidant activation and metabolic synergy. And let's unpack that with some clarity and some credibility. And let me give you some clinical applications of what's really going on here. So let's talk about the core science behind pHit. So first of all, the bioactive botanical innovation of pHit. It uses naturally powered ingredients like elderberry, bilberry, grapeseed, green tea, extract, and guarana. And it's extracted with cutting-edge precision for maximum potency. There's a lot of neat things that they have been able to do to actually grow the plants, right, and make them even better. So there's more actual substrates in these plants that they can extract out, which is what's giving this all of its potency that's really going on here. It's unconventional science. It's not a copycat supplement. And that's the beauty of it is. This isn't like other elderberry things. pHit enhances that time-tested natural compounds with modern extraction, formulation, and delivery systems. And what they're able to do is actually pull up the very unique flavonoids and bioactive components of the elderberry and of the bilberry and of the grapeseed extract. And that's what makes this so potent, because it's more than what anybody else has. Just like the fix, by just pulling out just the unique bitter acids and not the rest of the things that are in the hops, we actually make a better product to do a lot of things. Clinically backed ratios, every ingredient is standardized, combined in synergistic amounts, proven to enhance absorption, effectiveness, and safety. So it also increases your resting metabolic rate. And so a lot of third-party testing has been done significantly to prove that it raises the RMR, which is your body's baseline calorie burn. So what this means is, even like I'm sitting here at rest, supposedly, and so as I'm not moving my arms, all the other parts of my body's actually going through a rest and repair mechanism. Okay. And so that's a unique factor that this is really good for. Then it actually changes the resting energy expenditure, right? Sometimes called the REER, which is the resting energy expenditure rate, which helps your body stay in a fat burning mode all day long, not just during workouts. So even if you're sitting, even if you're sleeping, even if you're just lounging around, your body has a certain rate of metabolism that occurs to keep you alive. And what this does, this actually increases the RMR and then increases the REER, which means it's going to speed that process up. So you're getting more burn throughout the body. Right? It supports the thermogenesis, which the natural compounds like EGCG and the guarana activate that thermogenesis, which is allowing your body to burn more calories to actually produce heat. But what it really does, it burns more calories to actually burn up the fat and then repair the body naturally. And the last of all, it boosts the fat oxidation, which helps your body shift from storing fat to burning it as fuel, especially within the visceral and the subcutaneous fat. All right. Next thing we talk about is mitochondrial electron transport chain support. So this activates the biogenesis of how we produce the energy. So pHit's polyphenols are known to activate the master switch for mitochondrial production. We're going to make more energy by producing more fat burning to actually increase the production centers. And therefore, that's going to help the cells generate more energy-making mitochondria. And when we look at this aspect of how many mitochondria at each individual cell, and the mitochondria are being attacked, all of a sudden they start shutting down. And what this is going to do is turn back on the production centers. So think of a factory. You can turn the lights on, but if you have no people, no raw material, you're not getting much done. This is making sure we turn the lights on and we're bringing in the raw material. And now we have the production centers where the systems are there. In other words, the people and the systems, the machinery is there to actually produce that outcome, which is more energy. Next thing it does, which is really unique and key here, it supports the electron transport chain. The antioxidants in the plant bioactives that are in pHit, they reduce that ROS, reactive oxygen oxidase stress. Sorry about that. And in the mitochondria, they optimize the efficiency of the electron flow through these complexes of 1 through 4 and improve the ATP production, that's adenosine triphosphate, and cellular energy. And then it improves the mitochondrial fat utilization. By stimulating that fat oxidation and improving the mitochondrial production and the function, pHit actually helps your cells use up the stored fat more efficiently for energy, which means, think about a vehicle, you're not running out of fuel, right? It's like you have a constant production of fuel going on in there. And so you can travel a lot further without having to put in more fuel, right? And then it protects against mitochondrial damage. The anthocyanins and the catechins provide that protective antioxidant shield, which once again reduces the reactive oxygen species and preserves that mitochondrial health, which is what we need for not only metabolic longevity, but for the longevity of life. And that's one of the key factors that we see that this is actually going to do. Regarding weight loss and metabolic support, it improves insulin sensitivity. It helps the cells respond better to insulin. It lowers the blood sugar and improves fat metabolism, which are both key things as far as in pre-diabetics, pre-diabetes, and then actually diabetes itself, specifically type 2 and type 3 diabetes. It reduces the chronic inflammation. It helps fix actually do that. So rich in the anthocyanins and the catechins, those antioxidants calm that metabolic inflammation, which is the root cause for weight gain and disease. When you're having a lot of inflammation in the body has to retain these fluids, right? And we have a lot of disease entities. It retains fluids. And the reason it retains that fluid is you need a medium of mechanism of flow to make all that work. And so that's why people swell and they get bloating. That's why when you sprain an ankle or hurt a joint, it actually swells because it's bringing a lot of fluid in that area. And it's going to use it as a protective mechanism, but then also as a mechanism in which to help repair and regenerate that. This also pHit actually regulates blood pressure. So the extracts support healthier blood vessel tone. And also, as we've talked about, the nitric oxide levels, the stuff that goes in and out of every cell. And then balances cholesterol. It lowers the low density lipoproteins and the TGs, triglycerides. While at the same time, it's going to raise that HDL, as we've said earlier. That's the scavenger, goes through and cleans and protects everything. And that supports cardiovascular wellness. And then on this one here, it supports healthy appetite control. So the guaranine and the polyphenols help curb those cravings and suppress the appetite, once again, through that vagal stimulation and hormone modulation. So let's talk about performance and energy support that pHit does. It improves energy without jitters. It's a natural caffeine, so it's not a synthetic stimulant. But with the caffeine and theobromine from the guaranine, they provide a clean, sustained lift. There's no crash and no overload. It enhances exercise activity, and we'll talk about that, how this boosts the mitochondrial activity and the oxygen utilization, so we call that the VO2 max, giving you better stamina and even post-workout recovery, and that's a key factor there. And then the mental focus and the mood, the bitter bioactives may actually help support neurotransmitter balance and that vagus nerve tone, again, enhancing focus, motivation, and mood. And think about that. It's like, even if you go work out, you feel better before, during, and after. You're not wiped out, okay? So how do we take pHit, right? The optimal intake is you'll mix one of these sachets, this little sachet right up here, right? This little pack that you'll pull off the top of that and pour it right into the water or bottled water in a cool or loose room temperature. Never hot and never warm, because we need to preserve those antioxidants. All right, best taken mid-morning or pre-workout for energy boost metabolic support. And it'd be used once or twice daily, depending upon a person's sensitivity or on your sensitivity and your goals as well. So let me give you kind of what I call the full list of benefits of pHit, and then we'll conclude here. So of all the research that I've done, all things I've put together and watching the people that we have had on this already, we know that it's a mitochondrial power activation. It's actually going to increase more energy production, which now we're going to have better utilization of that energy in the body. Number two, it's neuroprotective and cognitive enhancement. It means it's going to protect the brain. It's going to help turn on the brain's ability to repair and regenerate. Specifically, when you combine this with fix, we'll even see that even improving even more. It's natural energy and endurance, or the stamina, all without any synthetic stimulants or any aspect of that that's trying to give your body a sense of false energy production, right? So you don't have the crash and the jitters and all that goes with those. Antioxidant defense and cellular longevity, we're actually increasing the length of the cell's life, right? Which helps the body respond to a lot of other factors. Cardiovascular and endothelial support, that's critical. That's number 2 killer in North America. And then the superfood, which again, that's a unique wording there, and the phytonutrient synergy. It actually is synergistic to the body and allows us to start making things happen a lot easier and even a lot faster. Number 7 is immune modulation and inflammation reduction. So it's going to boost the immune system. At the same time, it's reducing the inflammatory reaction within the body. Once again, with Fix, those two combined together are going to actually intensify this whole pathway. And then muscle recovery and tissue repair. Now, this is what's really unique because we're actually going to see between this and Immun 5, we're actually going to take sugar and fat away. I'm going to take sugar, away from the fat storage, and we're going to put it into muscle. So you have better muscle control, better muscle utilization, and even greater muscle recovery. And then number 9, metabolic hormone optimization. Of all the different hormones in the body, we're going to see that's actually going to increase the communication in the endocrine system, therefore getting better utilization of hormones throughout the body. And number 10 is going to improve sleep, it's going to improve detox, and it's going to actually give you a balance to all the rhythms, the circulatory rhythms in the body, or the cascading rhythms that are in the body. So when you look at all these benefits of Phyt, this is one of those types of products, once again, standalone, does an amazing job. But as we're going to see as I continue down all 4 of these products, put together specifically with Fix, these two are designed to go together by the drug company that made all these to actually do a lot of things in here that gets us a lot of the fat burning and weight loss. This one product is very active in that it actually helps us lose weight. This is measurable on the scale. And of all the people we've been watching so far, it's anywhere from 1 to 1.5 to 2 pounds per week, depending upon whether they take 1 dose a day or 2 doses a day. So I hope you find that this is very beneficial, understanding all the aspects of Phyt. And so we'll conclude with this one and get ready for our next one. So God bless.